listening to.
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Hey, Daddy, this is Dollar Beat.
BoxingVoice.com.
No matter what nobody say, man, Spirit, can't nobody fuck with me, man. You know, I can't be fucked with, you know.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
Whether you pay to see me win, or you pay to see me lose, you're gonna pay. Fuck it, your kids still gotta eat. I don't have to watch, you know, any footage of a fighter. I mean, because I'm Floyd Mayweather, everybody gotta watch me. I knew eventually I was gonna have to fight Oscar. I feel like he was straight up and down, no special effects.
BoxingVoice.com.
How can Canelo have the biggest deal? Your deal is for 300 million, and I made 350 million just in one fight. And you're fighting on the app.
BoxingVoice.com.
I'm a king, okay? I eat a feast. Every time I eat a feast. And when I get up from the table, I don't give a fuck who get the leftovers. At the end of the day, follow my green print.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
BoxingVoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game to see the boxing voice.
Good morning, TBV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another morning edition with the Boxing Voice Radio. We are back, and we're ready to talk some boxing. And boy, are we excited. I mean, boxing is actually happening as quick as, I think, June 9th or 6th. I mean, it's back. And so are we, with some headlines. We're putting our hands together, prayer style, hoping Bob Arum isn't front and stunting when he's talking about and revealing information that suggests MTK Global is negotiating, kind of being the front runners, getting a deal in order for a Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford somewhere in China. He pronounced it for me, but I'll let him do that in the audio. But yeah, this is what we're going to be talking about. If you're interested, you want to give us your opinion, your take on whether or not this takes place. Remember now, Manny Pacquiao is with the good old Al Heyman, at least for one more fight. And Terence Crawford is with, legendary promoter Bob Arum. So, is it difficult? Is this Bob just keeping his guy, Terence Crawford, in the media? Let's discuss it. Hit us up on Skype, Nestor Gibbs, to be part of the conversation. Let me head on out to...
What's up, man? Yeah, I just want to say I saw the fight too.
Stay focused, stay working my jazz. You know my fundamental. As you saying, like boxing voice.
Because if he comes to fight, then I'm going to have to look for him.
I saw the fight too.
I think you accurate.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning. I'm in Harrison, New Jersey, at my apartment right now. So I had a good night's sleep, comfort. Damn. No ladies, no boxing. All right. So Bahrain, right? Bahrain. I thought it was in Asia too, but apparently we'll talk about it. And yeah, June 9th. Isn't that Saturday? Is there a fight Saturday? Shakur Stevenson?
It's me, Mario.
What up? Y'all ready to do this? Look, we've been going a little bit, paying homage to Blackout Tuesday. And now we back, about to chop it up today. And yeah, bro, thank God boxing is back. In one way or another, in some form or another, whatever fights we can get. But it is back, fight week. Let's get it.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynch is the conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their claw. There's no one that can match.
Cheer! I put that heat on him. He ain't want to continue, man. Tyson was a beast. But yeah, good morning, everybody. Get that cup of coffee ready. Get that cup of tea if you're across the pond ready, if that's what you fancy, because Bobby's at it again. And it might happen in Bahrain. Where I got a friend in the Navy. He was around that area for a little bit, and He used to go down there, and it's like the Las Vegas of Saudi Arabia. At least that's what I was told. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, I looked it up because I was like, is this pronounced Bahrain? Bahrain? You said Bahrain.
Let me throw this at y'all real quick. Let's just get some facts and information before we actually chop it up. I want to hear the big old Bob Arum let us know from his words because, there's a hint of sarcasm at the end.
Any updates on Terence Crawford, Bob?
Well, yeah, we hope to get Crawford and Pacquiao in action this year, and through our friends at MTK.
Let's just stop it there and deal with what he said. They hope to get Pacquiao for Crawford through our friends MTK. Now, I want to highlight MTK because obviously they were they played a substantial role in getting Tyson Fury the $100 million plus deal with Top Rank, and they have been in the media receiving a lot of credit for kind of playing the liaison or the mitigator to stage possibly a Tyson Fury versus Wilder 3 abroad, as well as Tyson Fury versus AJ abroad. So they've been kind of getting a lot of clout for their negotiation skills. What do you guys know about MTK, and do you feel what you've heard from them thus far lead you to believe that they can actually get it done, a fight of this magnitude?
And all I know about MTK is what you just mentioned, the connection between them and Top Rank, and then all the big fights afterwards that Top Rank was able to produce. So not much, but their name has been ringing a lot during my lockdown. So somebody else on the panel may educate me.
Yeah, listen, MTK, they do not play around, and they have a vast stable that extends far beyond, negotiating for Tyson Fury. They have young upstarts. They have really good prospects. They have this kid out in the UK that they signed. I can't remember his name. He's this little kid who just is racking up titles and trophies and medals. I think he also does jiu-jitsu too. So, they don't play. And I think there's a reason why we keep seeing them as this liaison type. Number one, they have a good standing in the boxing community and really the fighting community, MMA. They weren't around necessarily during the Cold War of Golden Boy and Top Rank and whatever feelings that spilt over from that with Heyman and Bob and Oscar and whatever, feelings are still left from there. They have nothing to do with that. So they're able to talk strictly business. And from what it seems, they have some of the sharpest minds when it comes to negotiating. So, we've had this conversation before. We've had this show before. But what feels different this time is the fact that MTK has been fielding offers. So we know that they're at least real.
Well, MTK, right off the bat, I Googled it just to find out what it means. But they are, it says, we are the world's foremost boxer management company. So they are Al Heyman, Corporation Global. You know what I mean? So what Al Heyman is to us in the U.S., MTK is to Tyson Fury.
What's funny is MTK stands for Macklin the Knife. Matthew Macklin the Knife, who got knocked out by Gennady Golovkin. He was an Irish fighter. I believe he was signed to Eddie Hearn. Matthew Macklin, look, he was a decent fighter, but I promise you his legacy is going to live longer and greater due to the connection with MTK Global. First of all, they partnered with IFL many, many years ago, and obviously IFL promotes them before every one of their videos, and those guys are somewhere upwards in the 500 million plus views. So they've gotten the casual fans and hardcores to at least notify the logo MTK in black and gold. And then they started getting really good deals for their fighters. Obviously, Fury is one of the biggest, but they've done other things for other guys like a Josh Taylor, and others. So, yeah, interesting that Matthew Macklin is some sort of face
connected.
face or owner. And obviously performing at a higher level than he did as a fighter, as a negotiator or a CEO of the company.
Does Matthew Macklin still own that? Isn't it? I think it's Sandra Vaughan.
They're partners.
They got to be partners. I mean, again,
said I purchased the business from Matthew Macklin in 2017.
Ooh.
Then there you go.
Sandra Vaughan. VAUGHAN.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who I've been aware of who's been, at the helm of it. I know that the Matthew Macklin's, he's very tight to it and he's spoken on
Coach
some of the
Mitty,
deals.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Coach Mitty pointed out that Macklin was sold out, or bought out, he's no longer involved. They are a management and promoting company. I didn't even know he was no longer involved.
Yeah, I didn't know he wasn't part of the company anymore, but I knew that it's been a long time since they've mentioned him about anything. And last time I heard him speak, it was in a real distant type of way. You know what I mean? His tone was very what they're doing, what, you know what I mean? So,
I think the advisor's Daniel Keenahan. I don't know if you guys know anything about.
I've seen some headlines, I'll just say allegation headlines with that guy's name. So,
So back to MTK and Top Rank going to Bahrain, however it's pronounced. Would Manny Pacquiao suddenly is in the talks to face Crawford? Because that was surprising news to me. I didn't know Crawford was even an option for Pacquiao. Did he want it?
You and I have the same sentiment, but let's go back to the audio.
We are in serious talks with Bahrain for doing major fights there with the Sheikh's company that's involved in boxing.
Now, anybody know who's this sheikh? You guys, who's this sheikh that's involved in boxing? See, this is all new to me. Obviously, when AJ did his thing, we were introduced to princes and stuff through Eddie, and now we're here with Bob, and he's talking about sheikhs. I don't know what sheikh he's talking about.
Is sheikh like a diss or
is a sheik?
Sheik. Yeah, like a sheik.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah, but he said sheikh.
He definitely says sheikh.
Maybe he says it out in the right pronunciation. I always sheik.
Yeah, I think that
I'm I'm copying good old Bob.
Yeah,
no, I don't think that there's, but that's what it is, though, is what I'm trying to say. He's talking about a sheik, but he's saying it the way he's saying it. I don't know if that's better or worse, or I don't know. But
rewind it. How did he say that? He said these sheiks. Rewind that. I'm gonna hear that again. What do you mean?
This company that's involved in boxing and there with the Bahrain for doing major fights there with the Sheikh's company.
Yeah, he definitely said Sheikh's company.
Boxing.
Sheikh's company. I wonder if that was an error.
Is carrying the big labor.
Sheikhs. All right. Well, Bahrain is the right way to pronounce it, I assume, is an Arab island. They speak Arabic. They're sheiks and the Sunnis, right? Sunnis, rather. No, the sheiks, the Sunnis, Sunni Muslims, and the other style Muslim, which I have to look up. But I looked up Bahrain, thinking it was Asia.
Well, Coach Mitty says that the sheik is the main political figure of Bahrain and basically rules the country.
Let me.
A sheik is kind of like from what I've read, is kind of like a prince with departmental powers, almost like he's his own senator or his own. I don't even want to say president because it doesn't work that way, but they're
king.
Yeah, basically kings, essentially. Yeah, that's the best
remember
way I
when we reported that MTK Global was hosting the boxing summit? They're also going to hold it in Bahrain. So,
are they
connecting the dots?
There we go, man. Who was it that said that it was going to be Crawford? Somebody said it was going to be Crawford Pacquiao, and I thought that That sounded good.
Well, it doesn't necessarily
nobody
have
thought
to
it
be
was.
Crawford Pacquiao. Remember, it could
No,
still
I'm not
be.
saying it does, but it definitely feels like it now. A little more.
Well, I mean, it could also feel like Tyson Fury versus Wilder. Why can't it feel like that? Like if you're a sheikh, why are you going for the little fight?
Well, it's not a little fight.
I mean, when's the last time? When's the last time?
Fight.
When's the last time Pacquiao made over 800,000 pay-per-view buys? Come on, let's just be real.
Yeah, but that's still
right.
You're talking about the A and the B side. We're talking about a fight. How big is the fight? You're
Brother,
talking about
wait. So wait a
single
minute.
entity.
So wait a minute. I just want you to go ahead and fall on the sword. Are you saying today that Pacquiao Crawford is a better fight than Tyson Fury Wilder 3?
Is it a better fight? Yes.
Okay.
In his eyes.
Yeah. It's a better fight.
In his
Not in mine.
I think
That's
it's
not
more
a better or a
competitive
bigger.
fight. It's a more competitive fight.
What do you mean competitive?
Yo, no way. No way.
Crawford Pacquiao's.
Mario's a hardcore fighter. Yes, I would love to see Crawford Pacquiao 100%. But if you look at it, business based off the sheikhs, they don't play with money, so they gonna go with the bigger buy, which is Tyson Fury versus what's my man's name? Deontay Wilder.
Oh, yo, how you get disrespectful like that? Like now you don't know his name. My man lose the belt. You don't know his name.
There's only one Deontay Wilder.
You ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
Damn. Deontay Wilder. Nah, but look, on the same tweet that somebody put out that you sent in the chat on the comments, I'm a comment dude. I go to the comments, and somebody was like, "Yo, Pacquiao don't know Crawford. Nobody in Bahrain knows Crawford."
That's
true. And that's another point.
That's a good point.
Why the fight with Tyson and Wilder would be bigger?
Exactly, because Bahrain gonna look at it like, I'm going to buy 2 stars versus 1. Like, you could buy Pacquiao. Yeah, he's legendary. He's 41. A lot of people know him, but...
Now he's being disrespectful.
What?
You said, I'm going to buy 2 stars instead of 1, like Crawford ain't a star.
He's a star in boxing.
He's a star, but he's not a Pacquiao star. He's not a Wilder
What you talking about,
star.
Willis?
He's not a Fury star.
What you talking about, Willis? Pacquiao ain't yo, my man's really trying to throw Pacquiao in the same sentence with Tyson, Manny, Wilder.
Whoa. What are you talking about? Pacquiao's been doing this thing. Like,
he meant Crawford.
Chill.
I meant Crawford.
Oh, okay. All right. My
you
bad.
Trying to throw Crawford
No,
in there.
I'm not. I just said there's levels to this. No, I'm not. I'm just not going to say that he's not some kind of star. Like, there are degrees to this. There are levels to this. But ultimately, look, I'm not going to – I don't want to get it misconstrued. Yes, I think that Tyson Fury Wilder 3 is the bigger financial fight. I just think that Crawford Pacquiao is a little more competitive.
Bro, if you was the sheikh, what you paying your money for? Do you want Wilder Fury or do you want Crawford Pacquiao? It's that simple.
If I'm the sheik and I got that money, I'm like – I don't care.
You ain't the sheik, man. You the sheik. You just said you ain't the sheik. You the sheik.
Okay, if I'm a Harlem shake down to the bank.
The shake at the bottom of the bag.
I'm gonna pay Wilder to step aside, and I'm gonna get Joshua and Fury. That's what I would do if I had that money. That's what I would.
That ain't happening because remember we already heard that that's what they was trying to do, and then all the rumors of Wilder not accepting step aside came out.
See, that's why he's a better shake than me because I'm willing to bankrupt.
Real quick. Fight, bro. On the super chat, Alexander Wilson says, Arum in an IFL TV said that China has put up money for Fury Wilder 3.
Yes.
Thoughts? Arum and MTK may have countries bidding against each other.
Yeah, but Bob also said, they all talking, but once the money comes up, they fall apart.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't got to that audio yet, right?
Yeah, and that's what I want. That's what I'm saying. The sarcasm in Bob is beautiful, and that's why we need to get to the audio. See what we got here. See, maybe you guys should have just let me play the audio instead of moving around.
But y'all started talking about MTK.
Here we go. We go.
For doing major fights there with the Sheikh's company. That's involved in boxing, and MTK is carrying the big laboring ore. but we put out a release today that we're behind that. We're agreeable with it. And I'd love to do some big events in Bahrain.
So you heard him. We put out in the release so that whoever, MTK is negotiating with already knows, like, look, we on board. They definitely represent us. So, but it gets a little fishy here.
Is it looking likely then that Crawford Pacquiao goes to Bahrain, Bob?
Well, let's see what happens. I mean, let's see what happens. Everything is likely. Everybody wants to do these events until the time comes for them to put up the money. But I think with Bahrain, we have a good shot to get it done.
So that was what I was saying. I don't know. It sounds funny. He says everybody want to do these events until it's time to put up the money. So we're
Bahrain
still waiting on the
put
money.
up the money.
We're still waiting on the money. I mean, he believes so, but he still said that though, right? He said what? He said, so is it likely? He said, well, everybody wants to put it up. And then he left it out there not to make them feel bad. He says, but I think they're serious. But, that still doesn't mean anything.
He's on message, though. If you think about it, last time we had Bob on, which was about a month ago, I think, the message was that, listen, are there interested parties? Absolutely. But, the oil, the barrel price of the barrel being down, do they have the money to do it? We're going to find out. And now he's saying the same thing here. It's like everybody wants to do it and they say they can do it. But when it's time to actually put the money up and put the money into it, it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? Everything kind of changes. So I don't know. I think that I take him at his word. I agree. I think that maybe he wouldn't get there.
We got 2 super chats. Teddy B Midwest Sports Talk says MTK is a front business for a drug lord. And then Israel.
I like the conspiracy.
And then Israel says, Izzy in Oklahoma says, y'all know I run this thing like Bob Arum. Do me knees gonna shake when he sees my chick Harlem.
Harem. It's harem. It's a haram.
I thought I
you messed up his bar.
You messed up his bar.
I thought I seen Harlem. Oops.
Damn.
Yo,
that's why you gotta add your commas in.
You gotta put in parentheses. This is a bar. You got me reading a rap. Like I need to try to rap.
You gotta put in the slashes. Just put in the slashes where the bar ends. Put in the comma where you gotta take a pause.
You know it was a J&J promoted bar.
Oh, do we saying that Izzy got ghostwriters?
It was a J&J
That's why
bar.
he took 2 weeks. Anybody that
J-Mac could get his.
Anybody that needs 2 weeks to write a battle rap is home with their crew, showing crew love. You know what I'm saying? Intrigue wanted 2 weeks. And then when we laughed about it, he was like, nah, if y'all want to give me 21 days, I'm busy. He wanted more. I'm like, damn. He getting a whole team to write for him. Just saying.
Yo,
you know he is.
Israel's like, nah, not this week. And he honestly asked him when he calls in. He got, at the time of the battle, he'll have technically anywhere between 14 to 21 days himself.
Long camp.
Dude's putting in all type of miles for us.
Yo. The subject at hand before this goes to 1 p.m. So to me, that whole Bob interview, Bob let a cat out the bag. I'm still like, damn, Crawford and Pacquiao, like, how is that even in the conversation? You know what I mean? If we talking about fights happening, okay, Top Rank and Fury, or okay, Crawford and somebody else, but Pacquiao versus Crawford, when we thinking is like Danny Garcia or Mikey Garcia for Pacquiao. Nah, no one feels the same. Cat out the bag.
No, I mean, listen, there were. Y'all hear that echo?
Yeah, I think you switched off your mic for a sec.
Oh, maybe I did. No, listen, I think that Crawford was always in the mix. I just think that he was the least likely to the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that it would be like a Danny,
why the least, though?
I don't know. I just felt like not being with Top Rank anymore. The fight was more difficult, and the fact that Crawford and Danny, I mean, Mikey Garcia presents certain marketing options in that matchup.
No
that
one's
Crawford
even
doesn't,
talking.
you know
I
what
see
mean?
it for the same reason. Like if he's already worked with Pacquiao, you know what I'm saying, with Top Rank. I see.
Yeah, but what about the
making that
elephant
fight.
in the room, guys? He still owes
Who's that?
Al Heyman. He still owes Al one fight.
That's what I'm saying. My point is that I thought Crawford was the least likely because he wasn't with Top Rank. He was with Al, and I thought that Al would give, Pacquiao one of his other fighters in the hopes that they beat him and then they keep that glory. You know what I mean? Like if Crawford beats Pacquiao, what was the investment for Pacquiao for? To build up Terence Crawford? Like it's a weird situation. It doesn't seem like the business makes sense for the way that I know boxing. But that said, this is the fight I want. This is the fight I prefer. If we're not getting Spence and Crawford right now, bring on Spence Pacquiao, bring on Crawford Pacquiao. One of these guys needs to fight that man because, this is a passing of the torch moment. And one of these guys got to grab the reins, but if Pacquiao doesn't give him the shot, it's not going to happen.
I actually I sent you guys another bit of audio in an interview with, I believe it was Bob and here we go. Bob and Christina Poncha. Let me just pull that up because it has some interesting audio as well.
Yeah.
What I said the timestamp was 2:33?
2:22.
People have reached.
You're right. 2:22.
Mm-hmm. That's just.
And once we're operating as usual again.
Terence Crawford also mentioned still wanting to fight Manny Pacquiao as he has these past couple of years. So.
Well, Pacquiao and his people have reached out to me about the possibility of a Crawford fight.
Now, I'm just going to pause it there just so you know, right? Because I threw it out there, the dark horse, the elephant in the room, Al Heyman, will he allow this fight to happen? Pacquiao still owes Al one fight. But this is the answer.
We were hopefully thinking about scheduling that fight outside of the United States. We'll have to see. But it's certainly a very interesting fight. And once this clears up, I think we have a way where it can happen.
With Wilder and Fury.
So he's going to go on now, obviously, to talk about Wilder and Fury. But, not to take out their whole interview on YouTube. He'll confirm that Pacquiao Crawford is likely the same way that they were able to do business with Deontay Wilder for the Fury fight, and it made sense. So, again, he's basically saying, like, Al will do the last fight with Pacquiao if it makes sense. Hopefully, we don't have to listen to a lot of Poncha to get to that part.
Three, possibly being pushed back until fans are allowed to be in attendance. Does that make you want to go the Joshua route any sooner for Fury?
The fight I'm looking forward to is Fury against Pulev.
All right, so we obviously passed it. So, yeah, but whatever.
Pulev, Fury versus Pulev.
Yeah, because that's his guy. He's not gonna, count his guy out. He's gonna, give his guy some publicity. Pulev is his guy at this moment. He's promoting him.
Yo, and Sheikh is the proper pronunciation for Sheik. It's spelled. I just looked it up. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, I remember that movie. Y'all seen that movie with Batman, Christian Bale, and he's like a hustler and they always say Sheikh. American Hustler. There you go, my man. Yeah, they pronounce it Sheikh in there too. So that's probably the way it is. It sounds weird, right?
Yo,
it actually makes sense when you look at the letters.
Yo, listen to this.
We're used to seeing like Sheik, like the wrestler. Remember that?
Iron
Sheik. Yes,
Iron
that's probably what
Sheik.
it is in my head, bro.
Yo, listen to this from Carlito the Patreon in the UK. He says, I think Pac-Man's last PBC fight must be in America. Anywhere outside the US, he can fight for anyone. Can you imagine having that sort of contract? I mean, I guess having it would be ideal. Can you imagine a guy like Al allowing that sort of contract where, like, yeah, you got a 3-fight deal, 4-fight deal with me, but if you can find yourself another fight in Malaysia, go do it. And then if you lose, the value that I have for you drops. So I don't see that being possible.
See, you're looking at that all wrong. I think that it's not like, oh, go find a fight. It's like, yo, go get Crawford. Go if I got a fighter in my stable right now that could beat him, I'm going to send him over. And if I can still keep that fighter and not lose that one fight, which is the situation that Carlitos is, putting out there for us, that's like a win-win. Then Al can say, yo, I need you to go handle that man, come back so we can keep the biggest, most richest fight in the welterweight division in-house. And that's Pacquiao versus Earl Spence.
No, now I hear you. That sounds dope. That sounds like you just sent, Brad Pitt out to fight in Troy.
Yeah.
And that's cool if Pacquiao could bring it back. But again, the opposite still is there.
Right.
Crawford is still the younger guy that a lot of people like to argue he's number one pound for pound. Al still has to think about him losing his belt in a foreign country, then coming back to PBC and Al Heyman as a loser. What is it? How does he capitalize off of a Pacquiao that lost to Crawford? He can't put him in there with Earl. Maybe Thurman rematch with no belts, but you lose luster.
Put him in there. You put him in there with someone. You put him in there with somebody at that point that man's like over a year older at that point. No telling how much he loses in the Crawford fight. If he were to come back broken and beaten, then you treat him like a fighter who has substantial star power that's broken and beaten, and you try to get him beat again, and you try to get him beat with the most youngest, most talented, the best version that you have. Whatever you have, whoever you have that's on that cusp, you give it to him and you watch that skyrocket. But at the same time, they probably won't do that, right? It's probably gonna be like Danny or Mikey or something. But Mikey's a perfect fight right there. I don't think that Pacquiao loses anything. Like, he's gotten laid out by Marquez and he's still here today, to this day. You know what I'm saying?
If he loses to Terence Crawford, fans, we use that phrase all the time, fickle fans, they're not going to care about Manny Pacquiao versus Mikey Garcia or Danny Garcia. They're going to say, oh, man, he got washed by Terence Crawford.
I see Manny riding into the sunset after he fights like one of these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Like a Crawford. I see him running.
Goes out like a Miguel Cotto.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. That's the thing, Doomy. He knows being Al, let's say the contract exists that Mario speaks of, and he does let Pacquiao somehow go and fight Crawford, loses his belt. Pacquiao could retire. And now Al doesn't even get his 4th fight because that's the only thing gets you out of a contract, retiring. You kidding me? I'm not letting you go over there. No fucking way.
No, you're right. It doesn't. I'm trying to find a way for it to make sense because I do want that fight. I really do. I feel like if Crawford, if one of them needs that fight more than the other, I think it's Crawford, only because he can solidify what's already being said out there, that he is pound for pound, that he is the number one welterweight. And so, a fight like that solidifies it. With Earl, it does the same thing essentially. You know what I mean? I just think that Crawford exactly. New angle.
I got a new angle. If Danny
I thought you meant front.
If Danny spanks Pacquiao, Danny Garcia that is, now that's a Terence Crawford fight. Danny Garcia.
Nah. Because again, if Danny spanks Pacquiao, that's going to be for Al. So if you do that for Al, why would I send now Danny, who spanked Pacquiao, to go fight Crawford on a half network?
Gonna keep it on this
half
side.
Half means I got to give up half the proceeds.
Wouldn't they entice Crawford to come over here?
Hell
he's
no.
He's tied
into the app.
ESPN,
He's tied into that app.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation
but listen, real quick, help me give a real quick cheap plug for what's going down at 10:45. We will be talking Mike Tyson running down on Trump and asking him if sleeping with his wife, but he obviously said it
Robin Gibbons.
very vulgar. And he ran down on Donald Trump and asked him, was he sleeping with Robin Givens, at the time his wife. We're also going to be talking about Floyd Mayweather Jr. paying for George Floyd's funeral services, giving the foundation a check of nearly $90,000. And this is not the first time that Floyd does something like this. Hopefully I can find the information that I ran across this morning, which runs off a list of fighters. Off the top, actually, can't give you too much. You got to join us on Patreon at 10:45 a.m. today for another episode of Overtime, where we're going to be talking once again, Mike Tyson running down on Donald Trump and Floyd Mayweather Jr. paying for George Floyd's funeral services. And now back to our regularly scheduled program.
Real quick, super chat, Esso Akuni. You think Pac team is going to do business with the company that left him for dead? Pac makes more money staying in-house. Casuals don't care about belts. Well,
there you go.
Nah, he's
They
right.
care about
He's right.
beatdowns, though. Nah, but they care about beatdowns, so he could stay in-house and get a loss, and then what? Then no one cares about him anymore.
No, that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying is that, you got to keep it in-house to make that money and to ultimately, keep from being damaged goods.
Like Top Rank, well, you'll be damaged goods if you get.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Especially if like Mikey Garcia puts it on him.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, okay. You're saying if he does fight somebody in PBC and loses. Yeah, but at least that person keeps that value. If Crawford does it, then Top Rank keeps that value. You know what I'm saying? So it's tricky, bro. It's hard for me to sit here and really, truly believe that's the fight we're getting. Final thoughts on it is that I think that if it does happen, it's got to be something in that contract that states that he would be able to get that fight and still have a fight with PBC if he fights in the future. Is
there any negotiations that can happen where, like, okay, Pacquiao goes over there, fights Terence, and then if Terence beats Pacquiao, Earl is on the PBC side, right? So if they like somehow negotiate the future, could it be that Al Heyman lets that fight happen?
And that's the other thing, right?
Like like home field advantage on the next negotiation.
Yo, if Earl and Terence Crawford are on a path to face each other, why not Danny beating Pacquiao become a path to face Earl? You know what I'm saying? I mean, to face Terence Crawford.
Because your Puerto Rican bias keeps having you bring up Danny in this conversation. And that's cool. I'm going to just answer it for you.
No,
though.
that's because
All right, let me answer it for you, though. Pacquiao makes the pick, so you can't throw Danny in the equation. Pacquiao picks you. The only reason we're even talking about Crawford and Pacquiao in the same sense is because Bob is alleging that it's a possibility.
And the only reason why I bring it up because PBC is Danny Garcia. PBC, I think Mikey Garcia is doing business with them. And those are the two names that were thrown out as Pacquiao's potentials. That's why the surprise cat out the bag, Terence Crawford, Pacquiao being, conversation. So now you mention it now. Why would Terence and Pacquiao fight if Al Heyman is owed fights from Pacquiao? So that's where that all comes up. If he owes a fight, who we gonna see him fight in PBC? We ain't gonna see him
exactly,
fight
Earl. We gonna see him.
No, you're right.
We gonna see him fight Earl or Danny, and that's why Danny is saying I'm fighting.
Right, so I bring up Danny. I'm bringing up Danny, and I'm saying Earl or Danny could possibly wreck Manny Pacquiao if the fight is debatable. Then he might get a rematch. But if not, the path leads to Terence Crawford.
Yo, real quick, this is why trades in boxing would be such a good idea. If you think about trades in boxing, like right now, and even though Top Rank doesn't have it though, but it would be a situation where, you did the Pacquiao Crawford fight, and then it's like imagine if they had somebody they could set up with, a fighter like, I don't know, who's an up and comer for PBC? I don't know. Let's just say like a Frank Sanchez. Like imagine that Frank Sanchez wanted to, he needed a fight, and you had somebody that was like an Adrian Broner type in the boxing, in the heavyweight division, and you could trade fights and you could trade fighters and you could make matchups. So it's like PBC needs this guy from Top Rank. Top Rank needs this guy from PBC, and they just, that sounds crazy. I know now that I said it out loud. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said. But yeah, no, I would love if they were able to be, if they were able to do things like that, because I don't know, man.
Pacquiao
I
got
just really
options,
want Crawford.
man.
Pacquiao.
I don't think y'all realizing Pacquiao has safer options than Crawford.
Oh, I know he does.
He could easily fight Earl off the accident, Danny, Thurman rematch, or really go in his bag and say, nah, give me like,
Sergey Lipinets,
Jamal James. I'm out. This is my farewell. The same way what? You shaking your head no, like Floyd didn't say I'm out. Floyd said I'm leaving with Berto or Karim Mayfield. Don't forget that.
Yeah, but he did pick Berto though, so
and we wasn't happy. But that's what you do.
Berto's different than
when you a
Mayfield
G
and Jamal James.
When you a G, you give two bad options, so you got to pick between the. But that's what he did.
Right.
He said, "Bro, I'm fighting Devin Alexander or Amir Khan." We was like, "What?"
I know we really wanted Amir Khan in that situation. So like if you think about though where Crawford stands right now, like man, it's just like a really weird spot. Is he getting hyped for the biggest, probably toughest fight of his life, or is he getting ready for another, a Kell Brook? No disrespect to Kell Brook, I think he's a great fighter, but there's definitely a perceived difference between the two. It's a weird situation.
What if that's what we get in Bahrain? Kell Brook versus Bahrain, rather. Kell Brook versus Terence Crawford, because that was the talk. It was Manny Pacquiao or Kell Brook.
That would not be.
Maybe they figured out that the fans kind of swayed that out of the way. Because
the pandemic hit, and then everything put on pause. But maybe we're gonna pay for Terence Crawford. We in Bahrain, we're gonna rebuild right now. The barrel is low, but we're gonna bring the entertainment.
Bro,
I don't think that fight interests the Bahrain, boxing community or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they even have a boxing community.
I mean, they love boxing out there. They got it.
Is that what it is?
So, some of the sheikhs like the scraps, man. I'm telling you, because they always offer to host, so they gotta love the sport.
Because it's kind of fairly new hosting fights out there. To my knowledge.
Nah, they've always held combat sports, like big ones. UFC's done them over there too, and other combat sports. So I think they love combat.
Okay.
Well, any final thoughts before we go out to the callers?
Final thought, man. Bahrain, welcome to the club. Bahrain.
Yo, how long is the flight to Bahrain? I mean, like, ain't nobody gonna be flying over there anyway, right? Like, it's just gonna be basically, what was it? The ticket sales on TV. That's how they're gonna sell it.
Pay-per-view.
Oh, pay-per-view. Yeah. That's right. I wonder what the undercard looks like too on that fight like that.
Yeah, I already gave my final thoughts, but I'll real quick summarize. I want this fight really bad. I don't know why either. Like, I really don't get it, because I don't even know if it's going to be like a great fight. I think it's definitely a better fight than most, but I don't know. I guess because I know it's probably not going to happen that I want it more than other fights. But yeah, let's get that done.
For me, I'm going to go with this is classic Bob Arum in Top Rank.
Classic, Hokey Doke or just...
Classic Bob Arum in Top Rank. They are, like you said, the okie doke. They talk about Pacquiao and Crawford, and then they'll slip in, whatever it is that they can come up with. Kell Brook was a name thrown around, and I think I don't remember any other, legitimate names. Now, have we heard Thurman, Crawford, Pacquiao, Crawford, Earl, Crawford,
Porter?
Yeah. We've heard Porter, Crawford. We've heard everything, but the only non-PBC fighter that we have heard that seems like it's going to be it is Kell Brook, right? Because that's someone that they can actually do business with. And it's easy. Now, again, I am optimistic that Bob is telling the truth, that it has become simpler to do business with, Al. I just don't believe that Al's giving up his last Pacquiao fight to Bob. The money in Crawford and Pacquiao doesn't equate to the money of Tyson Fury Wilder, which is the reason they done business. But real quick, I got some last minute audio to introduce.
Yeah, when you were listing the fighters before, you said that Manny Pacquiao was a possibility. Are you still looking at possibly putting Manny Pacquiao against Mikey Garcia? I know you were originally looking at July 11th, maybe in Saudi Arabia, before the pandemic hit it and changed everything.
Now, this is Michael Coppinger discussing Pacquiao and Saudi Arabia with Eddie Hearn. So who's it going to be that gets Pacquiao? Everybody allegedly wants to use Pacquiao in a foreign country to stage a big fight.
Certainly Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, when you were listing the
Obviously, again,
pandemic hit it, maybe in Saudi Arabia, before the pandemic hit it and changed everything.
Certainly Manny Pacquiao fight in Saudi Arabia is still very much a target. I was speaking to those guys last night in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, again, they're a country like many that have had a significant number of COVID-19 positive tests and problems, but they also have a number of big events themselves outside of sport that are planned for October and November. I think the G20 summit is one of them. So I think for them, they still very much want to stage a major fight in Saudi Arabia in December, and Manny Pacquiao against Mikey Garcia is a fight they love. So a lot is dependent on the next, month or so of how these countries bounce back from this pandemic. But, all the conversations last night are, obviously we need to see where we are in a few weeks or a month's time, but Saudi Arabia, it still has exactly the same desire to be one of the major players for world boxing, and we would love to do a Pacquiao fight there in December.
Eddie, what?
Thoughts?
Yeah, I think that it's probably an easier fight to make, and it's definitely an easier fight to make because it's an easier fight to pitch to Pacquiao. I think that it's an easier night of work for possibly the same, if not more money, probably more money in this situation.
So Mikey Garcia, Pacquiao bigger than Terence Crawford Pacquiao?
I'm talking financially. I think Pacquiao comes out with more money in that fight. I'm not saying that the overall money's bigger. I'm saying that Pacquiao's piece of the pie's bigger, but and that's speculation. I can't say that for sure. I just think that for Mikey Garcia to get this shot, there'd have to be a reason. There'd have to be a reason why Pacquiao's willing to do it. But either way, I think it's an easier night's work against Mikey Garcia than it is Crawford. So that's definitely a selling point. But I could definitely see it happening. I could definitely see that fight happening. That's the fight, honestly, I thought was going to happen more likely before all this, C-19 stuff.
So is that the fourth fight that Al gets out of Pacquiao? Mikey Garcia versus Pacquiao? Is that the negotiation, or is something else that's tied to the Wilder Fury?
I mean, the Mikey Pacquiao is more probable because you got to assume Mikey still has that working advisor relationship with Al. He went to Matchroom for one fight, and he was specific in his interviews with that, specifically saying, yeah, I know Eddie likes to say I signed a Matchroom, but it's one fight. They got options, which only mean they can compete with Mikey's next offer. And if they can, surpass the offer, then Mikey will go with them for that next fight. Does not mean they have a deal, long-term 3-fight, 4-fight, 2-fight deal. That's not what they got. They have options. So if Al equally presents Mikey with something, then that's his fight. So the same thing that Eddie is offering Mikey, hypothetically, Al can offer it too. Now, the question is, will Eddie offer Mikey and Pacquiao, who he advises both, right? Will he offer them the fight to each other for the same amount of money that Eddie could come up with in Saudi Arabia? Then he would be obviously forced to allow them to go get that extra site fee money and, from Saudi the same way he did with Andy.
Okay. So if it's worth the negotiation, it'll happen, right?
Yeah.
Mikey Garcia versus Pacquiao to me now sounding like the most probable thing to happen. I mean,
it's like I said, man, Pacquiao has options, bro. Options like a mojo. You know what I mean? Like, I think
is Pacquiao, not to cut you off just because you were probably more knowledgeable in this, but is Pacquiao saying anything about how many more fights he's willing to take on? Because if this is like see you later fight.
I didn't see anything specific, but come on, bro. You just beat Keith one-time Thurman. Your whole, you on a high right now, bro.
He wears so many hats. It's incredible, that he even comes out and fights. So my whole question is that how long can he sustain this? And is he looking to have 3 more fights? Where he can, make everybody happy on one side, make the fight happen on the other side. It's just, and anything can happen, man. He's the older guy too. He gets beat up by any of these guys. It'll literally be his last fight.
Well, we can't forget that he's had tax issues, and I'm not going to speak on financials that I don't really know about, but I from my experience, that situations that he got himself into, they tend to be associated with the fact that, you're running shorter on funds than you should be. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say he's still fighting for the money, because I definitely know he's a competitor and he's definitely a dude that would want to keep fighting. But I think it goes back to what Ness said. Like, if you could still do this at the highest level and beating a guy like Thurman, then it's plausible that you could beat anybody in the welterweight division. I'm not going to say the two go hand in hand, but they're certainly not exclusively mutual. Yeah. So I think that you look at it, there's really no reason to walk away at this point, especially if there are fights out there that are a little easier than Thurman that you can still take a bag from.
And, we can never count Pacquiao out because of the performance he gave us with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was still an injured guy. He was coming back, and he had his fights, coming back, but still, he's always been that guy you're looking at as, he's a little injured, or is he the same? And then we had that whole controversy with him, being at the casino. So it's like, there's a whole bunch of watering down that you can do. I mean, I don't take nothing from Pacquiao. I'm not saying I'm taking anything from him, but, he faces a guy like Crawford. It's huge problems. I mean, these guys are freaking, they're like a fork and knife, waiting for that Pacquiao dish.
All right, let me get out to these callers then. First, quick word from our sponsors, and we're going to get this thing going.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. While you're doing that, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can get the email letting you know every time we go live. Obviously, we go live every morning at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. on Saturday, 7 p.m. on Sunday and Thursday. Thursday, we also do a morning show at 9 a.m. We also do practically every day on Patreon overtime, Untitled, and Film Study Tuesdays. Those times vary. Join us on Patreon so that you can, know the schedule up to date. But remember to subscribe right here to the YouTube channel. Absolutely free. We go live here every day as well. The number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time if you're calling in on Blog Talk to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. And you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype from anywhere in the world to be part of the conversation. Let's go on out to TJ. What's going on?
I'm just listening, Big Don. Go Raven.
All right. We're going out to Stone Bone. Talk to me.
What up? What up?
Chee.
Yeah, man. Bahrain, huh? But yeah, it's a difference between a sheik, which is you know what I mean. Like we what you saw was the Iron Sheik, and then the Sikhs are it's a religion, so it's two different people. It's spelled a little different, but a lot of people confuse the two. They think Sikhs are Arab guys, and then they think a Arab leader is a Sheik. So it's a little confusing. Sikhs hate it though. They hate it because they always get confused as being Muslims when they're not Muslim because they use the head wrap as a Sikh. But yeah, I would love to see the fight, man. Regardless, Bud stops Pacquiao. I'm starting to feel like I can't remember who it is that always say they just want Pacquiao to get out the way. So I want Bud to get him out the way. I want anybody to get him out the way. And if the money right and everything is subject to payment, you know what I mean? Everybody say what they want. Like Bob said, I don't think that's a condescending statement. I think that's just a fact. We've always, like they said, we always heard about so big money. Even Amir Khan said he didn't get all of the money he was supposed to get. He was supposed to get like $7 million, and he only got 5 or something like that for his fight over there. So it can be big talk until it's time to put paper to pen. AJ them did it, so why not? Pacquiao's a big name, and he's not even a Muslim, so I don't even know why he's so big in Muslim countries like that. But he does have a huge following, and the Philippines is Muslim too. So it's a weird dichotomy that Pacquiao is a big enough name that could do that, and the American star can come in there and knock him out. That's what's gonna happen. So if they want to pay that money to get him knocked out, go ahead. Al is not gonna let that happen though. Al would rather do it. I don't know. If Al is gonna let him fight Mikey, what's the difference? He'll make more money fighting Bud. So if Al is in a position to let him fight Mikey,
I think the difference is Mikey, he still get at least, you gotta assume, obviously I'm assuming as well, but you gotta assume he still at least gets an advisor fee from Mikey.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Even though Mikey with the zone, he's still advised by. It's gonna be Mikey. It's gonna be Mikey, and then I thought he only had one fight left. So if he only got one fight left, do you really think he would fight Mikey and then say, "Yeah, I'm gonna go fight Earl now when I don't got no fights," or he gonna say, "Al, you got to give me $25 million to fight Earl"?
But that's the thing. If you out, at least you can offer him Earl, Danny, Mikey, Thurman rematch. So now he sits there and he got to ponder which one of those 4 he want. So let's say he doesn't want Earl. Cool, your last fight is with Mikey. It don't mean once that's over, I can't say, listen, we'll offer you, we gave you $25 million to fight Thurman, we'll give you $35 to fight Earl.
I think Al would do it. I think he'll do it. I think he loved Earl that much now, like he loved Leo. He seen Earl go through some troubles. He might put that money up.
You got to, man. You got to. I mean, look, Earl, only hardcores know what happened, right? I ain't gonna front. Maybe some casuals heard about the accident, but to America and to Texas, man, he's an American hero. He went to the Olympics. He came from the mud, and he's a 2-time unified champ. Or I don't know if I can say 2-time, right? I mean, I want to say I can say 2 times since he won 2 welterweight titles, but I guess that's the only way to say that is unified unless you lose one and win it back, right? So whatever. He's a unified champ for America. He's American. I don't know, man. I think he's valuable and he's young.
He did real good. He did good in the UK. He did
let me
good
just
out
add
here.
this last thing for you. You got to think for Al, this is a business that continues. Pacquiao's on the way out. He's 41. So I need you to pass the torch to the young American. Or at least Mikey or Danny, Mexican, Puerto Rican, where, we can flip it and do a unification.
Yeah, it's got to be, I think, Mikey or Earl in this situation. It's not that I don't think Danny benefits from it. I just think that if anybody's going to do something with that clout, once it's all said and done for the remaining years, it's going to be Mikey or Earl, and most likely Earl.
Mikey or Earl.
All right, let me go to Atlanta. Speaking of Thurman.
Hell no. He mad because I get the better fights. He mad because they still like me more. He mad because I got better numbers. He mad because he can't beat Keith Thurman. That's why he mad. Hell no.
So once when I get on that stage and I come at you
better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son. I'm telling you.
What up? What up? What up?
What up, Intrigue? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, all. Man, y'all looking at it wrong, man. The Mikey fight ain't happening. Crawford fight ain't happening. It's gonna be Thurman. I know I'm the Thurman fan, but what makes most sense for Al? To let Pacquiao fight Crawford and possibly lose the belt to Crawford over there? No. To fight Mikey and for Mikey to beat Manny, and then who is he setting Mikey up to fight Earl again? No, that don't make no sense. It's gonna be for Thurman to get his title back and then build that Thurman Earl Spence fight back up. Because if Earl got to fight Danny first in what, September? So that means if they were gonna give Pacquiao Earl, he ain't fighting him till next year. That ain't happening. And I don't even believe number one that Earl gonna get past Danny. So that'll throw a monkey wrench in that whole thing right there. But I think the Dark Knight, the Dark Horse, whatever you want to call it, is Thurman rematch. That fight gonna sell. It's gonna make money, and it's gonna give Thurman an opportunity to get his belt back for Al to set back up his super fight, and to still leave Crawford on the outside looking in. That's my call.
And if you don't know, that is the guy that will be taking on Mario Money May Munguia in, I believe, a week or two from now. Intrigue in Atlanta. I'm told he has a couple of music videos on YouTube. Intrigue, won't you come back and introduce your YouTube channel, or at least where they can find those videos, because we want to make sure that the world knows that you're a worthy opponent, and B, if you beat Money May, that this is why you beat him, because you were a worthy opponent to become champion. So how could they watch these The Ledge music videos?
Yeah, you just look up Intrigue the Incredible. N-Trigue, the D-A, Incredible. They on there.
All right. Shout out to Intrigue out in Atlanta. Patreon, part of the inception and creation of what is Boxing Bars every Saturday at 10 a.m. Now, once boxing is back, and Border Wars is back, we will have to find a new time for Boxing Bars. Border Wars is definitely every Saturday at 10 a.m. And salute to all my Border Wars brethren out there. We were just talking in the Border Wars chat yesterday. We have a fantastic card that was supposed to take off, and then coronavirus hit. But man, I'm like the promoters in the real world. I cannot wait for things to open back up to bring this Border Wars card, because this will be, first of all, we finally got someone that we can trust to do the video, which is Kaz Film. Shout out to Carlos. Many of our Border Wars participants sat down with him and did one-on-ones. So now the coverage and the videography aspect we have locked down. And obviously with this card, it will be the best card in terms of talent. Shout out to Coach Mitty, one of the Border Wars fighters that comes from across the pond. So yeah, man. Other than that, when there is no Border Wars, then we will be doing Boxing Bars every Saturday at 10 a.m. And I believe a week from now or two. So stay posted. Intrigue will take on Money May Munguia. Let's go out to past opponent. You know what I'm saying? Past opponent. Building his way back up to the top. Out of Oklahoma. Izzy, what it do?
Is.
Hey, good morning. How y'all doing?
All good, all good.
Champ.
My only input on this is, man, I'm selfish. I don't want to watch a fight at 2 p.m. I want to have like the traditional, get undercard going at 7:30, have a couple beers on a Saturday night. So, man, put that fight in the States. But hey, beggars can't be choosers right now with the C-19. So I guess a fight's a fight, and we'll take whatever we get. But that's my only input on that. Yeah, have a good one.
All right. Champ. Thanks for.
It's true, right? Like we want our night, Saturday night fight, the usual, traditional, but we're not gonna be able to have that, or are we? I doubt it. You know, the timing is always at night out there too, right? When the fights are put on, it's their night time.
All right, let me go out to Greatness Harlem.
Greatness.
All right, there he goes.
Yeah, how y'all look?
All good. Good
Bless,
morning.
champ.
Good morning, y'all, man. It's definitely a good morning, man. It's definitely a better morning. I didn't catch too much of the show. I was a little bit late, so I don't know too much of the details. But I caught wind of the Bud and Pac. The main thing I got to say about that is like I said in the chat, the real significance I see in that fight is Bud potentially just getting Pac, you know, out the picture. Much respect to Pac. You know what I'm saying? But he's holding a title, and I feel like that's one of the things that might be stopping Bud in his process. I don't know too much, but I feel like Bud could get him out the picture if they could make that fight. However they could get it done, man. I think Bud would be there on time to get the job done. So salute to Pac-Man, salute to Bud. I'm looking for a good fight between those styles. And it has the potential of shaking up the welterweight division, man, because, Pac-Man is just, he's great in his own lane. You know what I'm saying? So let him retire and do his thing, man. Let him go be president.
All right,
That's
champ.
my call.
Thanks for calling in. Caesar, Vegas, talk to me.
Yo, what up?
What up?
What's up, guys? Hope you guys are all having a good morning.
Thank you.
So, I don't know if you guys spoke on this before. It's hella loud over here.
Damn,
Cracked
Skype
up a little bit.
Nah, that's Skype restarting on, and that's what they give you. That's the warning. Toot.
Dang, straight Mega Man them. Sees we resetting, champ. Taking an 8 count right now. Took one from Skype, but yeah, a lot of people feel like
I'll take this time to say personally to Naja, Midi, Big Nick, and Mr. Kieran, and that one white boy. I will be personally addressing y'all on overtime.
Oh, snappity snappy. Call him address time. But yeah, bro, is there a possibility maybe that, they're just Al Heyman is just gonna, have that Terence and Danny fight, let that Mikey Garcia versus Pacquiao happen, or because Danny's always been saying he wants the Pacquiao fight too. Would he let him? Would he let Mikey take that?
Nah, because if I would assume, again, in-house thinking, if Al has, you said Manny and Mikey, right?
Yeah, he lets Mikey get it before Danny?
So then if he lets Mikey get it before Danny, that means Danny gets Earl. And and Earl can't get mad. I mean, Danny can't get mad because he gets a shot at 2 titles. You know what I mean? Yeah, you didn't get the Legend in Pacquiao, but you get legacy if you win. It's up to you to win. I could only take you to the water. It's up to you to drink. So, no, I can't give you the legendary Manny Pacquiao. But I can give you a route to create your own legend, Danny Garcia. If he beats Earl, it's it. History books. It's done. Listen, the people that hate on Danny, if he beats Earl, Danny was in 3 fights where he's the underdog and has won in 2 different divisions. It would be out of this world. Out of this world. Out of this world. So Danny cannot get mad at the fact that he doesn't get Pacquiao and instead he gets
So what happens to Terence?
Terence, that's what I'm saying. It's not Al's problem. That's Bob's problem. Terence ain't his fighter. He should have came to Al. I say he's not his fighter. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, if they don't give it to him, is not up to Al. Terence ends up with Brooke. Hopefully he does what I said, and I'm glad I remembered. Do what Floyd did. Because I'm only reminding us. I'm not saying I invented this idea. Do what Floyd did. The man that continues to say, now he just came in and said, I want to see young black fighters succeed. So then follow his blueprint. When he fought Cotto, the reason it was okay for the world was because, listen, Pacquiao, he destroyed Cotto. Margarito destroyed Cotto. And we were still okay with Floyd fighting Cotto. Why? Because he fought him at 154. He didn't suck him down. And then that boy he took blood off of Floyd. It was a great fight. We loved it. We should film study it. So that's what Crawford needs to do. So that there ain't haters like me out there, because I will become a hater if you fight Kell Brook at welterweight, who hasn't fought at welterweight in over 3 years or going on 3 years. Like the fact of the matter, it's a 3 there in years. And no. But if you fight him at 54, I can't hate on you. Because the last 3 fights of his career been at 54. So I can't hate on you. You moving up. I can't hate on you. But as far as what happens to Crawford, that is not Al's problem. If Al says, Mikey, Pacquiao, y'all fight, and they agree, Earl, Danny, you fight, and they agree, man, Thurman could do Porter rematch, which he's always wanted. Thurman could do Ugas. Thurman could say, I need another soft touch. Give me Jamal J. Like, it's too much over there for them. They do what they want.
So Terence Crawford, Kell Brooks as his only option. That's nuts.
So far, I haven't heard anything realistic emerge. I mean, has there been mentions of, again, I'll run the names down. I'm not. They're all PBC names. I haven't heard anything not PBC other than Brooke. Really?
And how's the Golden Boy Top Rank relationship?
Golden Boy Top. I mean, look. I think right now we're not in a Cold War. I think right now, we are in a position where Bob is dealing with Al. Bob is dealing with Golden Boy. Bob has already said whatever Canelo wants, we'll give him. So if you want Ray Moroda, we'll give him to you. Who you want? Rob Brandt here. Like, he understands what it is. So I think we're in a good position. I just don't think that Al will bend over backwards because we're in a good position. Al will still have to look out for Al Heyman boxing. That being said, let me address Skype. Skype, guys, that I did not kill Skype. I think it's time to upgrade this Mac, but, whatever. That's an episode for Untitled to tell you all the details. Personally, what happened was, it just restarted. So, Caesar, I think we were cutting your call off, or was it Harlem's call?
Yeah, it was Caesar. It was Caesar.
Talk to me.
Yo, did you guys not listen? You guys didn't hear anything I said?
Nah, champ. We restarted.
Okay, my bad. All right. Well, thanks for coming back to me, man. I appreciate that. So basically what I was saying is, for me, it's kind of hard to tell what Pacquiao has in his plans. Like, is he looking for a retirement money fight, or is he looking for an easier fight before a big fight? I feel like the more winnable fight would be Mikey Garcia. It still does present danger, but it is kind of, I mean, he could get a good payday off of it just because Mikey has a name. But like I was saying, he doesn't really bring anything to the table besides the name. So I was thinking, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that he's looking for a money fight or a touch-up before the big fight? You know what I'm saying? Because Terence Crawford, obviously he's more dangerous, but it represents a bigger payday. But I don't know what Pacquiao's plans are towards these last fights of his career,
Makes sense though.
I think he's going to look for what makes sense, man.
No, it makes sense what C's was saying though, because like maybe if he does have in his plans to fight more than once, maybe twice, 3 times, you're not gonna want to take all of those fights back to back, right? You're gonna want to get a nice name in there and then go for the big fight, because Pacquiao's basically at, and this is just my opinion, if he loses, and it depends how he loses, obviously, but if he loses, he's not going to be able to get in there as easy as he's gotten now after that Thurman fight. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. I just think that ultimately he's in a situation where every fight could be his last, and I think he's looking to make as much money as he can from fight to fight. I really don't think he's going to take any tune-up fights or weaker fights. I think that he's going to fight a big name every time he comes out. Now, whether that big name challenges him or not is going to be, that's going to be the question. But he's looking for money.
Yeah, I mean, look, $25 million paydays. He has a lot of expenses. He's a senator. He needs the bread. I don't think he's even thinking of retirement, especially not with that. Listen, regular rich guys buy sports cars for their midlife crisis. This guy just beat a young champion. He is on an all-time high. Super chat from Alexander Wilson. He says, where is Mikey in this equation? Damn, champ, you ain't just here the last 50 minutes was about Mikey.
Honestly. Mike is on the PBC side, champ. It's
we put him in this equation in the sense that he's a possibility for Pacquiao. He's one of those many Pacquiao options that I speak of.
And probably more realistic than most. In my opinion.
Brandon, Cincinnati, nominee for Caller of the Year. What up, champ?
What's going on there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I mean, I see why J-Man calls you out of your hypocrisy all the time, brother. You said you have a problem with Kell Brook and Bud, but you were just caping for Gabe Rosado and Canelo and saying that was okay with you?
You didn't hear what I said, Brandon, so you're wasting your call. You obviously didn't hear what I said. I did not say what you're saying.
I heard what you said.
No, that's not what I said. I said I'm okay with Crawford and Bud as long as he fights him at 54. You just didn't hear me. I mean, you're busy, though. You busy. I get it. I'm not going to blame you.
I don't care what weight it's at, but as far as Pacquiao and
Wait a minute. What do you mean you don't care what weight is at? You don't care if he fights him at 47?
I mean, has Gabe ever fought at 68? That's what weight Canelo will bring him up to. Is that fair to Gabe that he has to go up to 168? But I want to get on this topic.
So you talking about, you trying to make a comparison to one guy going up? You are getting extra time. You are. Or why are you trying to make a comparison to a guy moving up, which is easier, versus a guy moving down, which is not?
How many fights has he had at?
Exactly.
One of his fights like at 150 at like a catch weight? Has he ever fought at? How many fights?
Act like the nominee, bro. Act like the nominee, man.
How many fights has he had at 54? One of the fights at like 150 at catch weight. He's only probably had one fight at 154. He isn't that far removed from 147. Let me get on to this topic. As far as Pacquiao and Bud, I mean, to be honest, all these guys are just roadblocks for what we want to see, which is Errol and Bud. Pacquiao, Danny, Keith, however they get knocked off the chipping block for us to get the fight we want to see, I don't care who does it. In my opinion, I think Pacquiao gets washed by either Errol or Bud. I think Danny gets washed by either guy, so however you want to mix it up for us to get the Errol and Bud, let's just make it happen. I don't think it's going to happen. He had plenty of chance to fight Bud, but he fought guys like Chris Algieri and Jeff Horn. So what makes me think he wants this fight all of a sudden? So I'm a little optimistic about it as far as that. But if it happens, I'd love for it to happen just so Bud can get a little name on his resume, just so you clowns and haters can being able to say he ain't fought nobody yet. He ain't fought nobody yet, except for, undefeated gold medalist and former champion. But, hey, that's my call, man. If it happens, it happens. If not, I don't care. I'll just get the arrow and Bud at the end of the day. But y'all take it easy.
Who is he saying? I can't understand nothing he was saying with all that background noise. But who was he saying was an undefeated gold medalist?
Did he say Earl was an undefeated?
I thought I heard him say Earl. I thought he said Earl when he said that. But it was hard to tell.
And this is who y'all nominate.
That's not true, obviously.
This is who y'all nominate. A guy that isn't upset, that Kell Brook and Terence would take place at 147.
Kell Brook was a gold medalist. I think he might have said Kell Brook, not Earl.
A guy that tries to use the comparison of Kell Brook and Errol Spence, and Terence Crawford taking place at 147 to Gabe Rosado, who's already linked to fighting 168-pounder Daniel Jacobs, facing Canelo Alvarez at 168 during the current pandemic, okay? Because remember, Kell Brook, Terence Crawford was floated around before coronavirus hit. When Nestor Gibbs in the Boxing Voice was talking about Canelo versus Rosado was in the current pandemic, and we were specifically talking about the fact that Dazn is in the financial times seeking money, so what would be economically safe for them? But this is your caller nominee of the year, a person that tries to take bits and pieces to fit an agenda. Come on, bro. Like, get your game up.
Yeah, no, there was he didn't explain the narrative behind everything, the whole scope of the conversation of Gabe Rosado and Canelo, but you know, it was circumstantial.
Absolutely. If anything, situational. The coronavirus is the only reason we're talking about Canelo and Rosado as a possible. You know what I mean? Because we spoke about people being on travel bans and using that specifically in the conversation, not assuming that the travel ban will be lifted at the time that Canelo fought. But, you know. Sid in Orlando, what up?
Yo, let me take it on speaker. Hey man, what's up? Hey Ness, I gotta update my Patreon after I get out of work or whatever. But from what I'm hearing from this topic, only thing I believe in with this boxing is if it ain't no big fight, then they stay in their house with it, you know. So I feel like Pacquiao gonna go after Mikey Garcia or Keith Thurman unless he just tell Al Heyman to feed him to, well, not feed him, but get him to go against Spence. But other than that, Terence Crawford gonna be left out there fighting the whoever's of the world. They're gonna block that boy out. Ain't nothing gonna change, even with this pandemic. But everybody like the video, join Patreon so y'all can stop missing out on the after show like I am until I pay. And yeah, man, that's all I got. Ness, keep up the work, yo.
All right,
Yo, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Unless it's a huge fight, the likelihood is that the people are staying in house.
Of course.
Even if it's a big fight, it's still got to be a huge fight.
I mean, look, Shakur Stevens is fighting who?
What is his name?
Carvalho. Carvalho. You know, and what they do, they stack the card with names. Oh, Shakur's fighting this one, right? And that's the only name they mention. Then they say Michaela Mayer, Jared Anderson, and who else is fighting? Some other dude. Then they tell you one other opponent, and the other opponent is the dude Ryan Garcia knocked out on the zone with the braids, the Dominican, Vicente or something like that. So, like, this is the time that we're in, you know? But, yeah, man, let's go ahead and wrap it up. I guess, let me double check. I got some boomerangs. I do think I have intrigue. Oh, a couple of callers jumped on. Let me get out to Landlord. Just listening?
Chip.
All right. We're going out to JT. You just listening or? I know you're just jumping on, so I don't know if you know where we're at.
Yeah, I just jumped on this, so I
All right.
already knew the topic.
No problem. In that case, we'll be going to Intrigue on the boomerang.
Yeah, just gonna say it again, man. Watch what I say. I'm right on the PBC matchmaking. It's gonna be Thurman and Spence, Garcia. I mean Thurman and Pacquiao, Spence, Garcia, and that's how it's gonna go down, man. Mikey Garcia don't make sense. Bud makes sense, but it's gonna be at the end. So they want to put Thurman and Spence, and the winner of that fight gonna fight Bud, or if it's a good enough fight, they gonna fight again. They might fight 2 to 3 times before they even go to Bud. That's what Al is doing. That's all I got to say.
All right. Well,
I wonder what Bud does that whole time waiting.
I mean, again, that's top rank. They got to come up with something. I can't even see anything sexy, honestly. You know, I was gonna do outro right there, but I'll screen share real quick. The 147-pound division between the 4 major sanctioning bodies so that you can see it here with us. Crawford, WBO. Earl Spence is the IBF and WBC. Manny Pacquiao is the super champ. You got Busbutin. That's who he might fight. Isn't Busbutin a top-ranked fighter? I know he
Yeah.
tested positive though, but you know that he's a top-ranked fighter. He's got a WBA regular, and that way it'll make him Pacquiao's mandatory. I think he's a top-ranked fighter. He could be a matchroom. I'm not sure. Let me see if the chat says anything while I keep talking. Obviously, they can offer
I mean,
Virgil.
Egas Klimas is his manager, so.
Oh, that
mean,
sounds top rank.
It might be Loma and you know.
Yeah, no. Whenever it's Aegis, he doesn't go PBC, bro. He doesn't do that. So I mean, but he can go to zone. I mean, look, we gotta Google it. Google Alexander Busbutin. In the meantime, they could offer Virgil Ortiz the fight. I don't think that I'll be mad at Crawford. It'll be like some, you know, fake Canelo, get him early shit. I mean, ain't nobody talking about Virgil being
Top
the next
rank.
Canelo. Who?
Top rank.
With Busbutin.
Busbutin.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's his opponent. Hooker's off the table. They're trying to reschedule that. Eddie just came out, said he's trying to reschedule Regis. And you know, that's at a catchweight anyway. Plus, they work together now. He's trained by Bomac. Quadrachilo. Quadrachilo's out there. Abdullah Kurarov or something like that. I'm butchering. He's out there. I always said Castillo Clayton. I don't know why. I guess because he's big. He moved up to 54, took a fight up there. You know, but he's from Canada. You know, he's untested. That's it, man. That's it. I mean, look, I'm screen sharing whatever you guys think is good. I guess I'm screen sharing. I can't really give you, you know, I can't make you know, chocolate cake out of shit. Yo, Nest GTO, Instagram and Twitter. Catch us on the next one. And for our Patreons on the $15 level and above, catch us on Overtime right now in about, well, at 10:45, we will be talking Mike Tyson saying that Donald Trump slept with Robin Givens while he was married to her. He just came out with that, or we're just being revealed that information. And then we're going to be discussing Floyd Mayweather paying for George Floyd's funeral services. Almost $90,000 he gave to the foundation. And we will be discussing Real Naja Chick, Big Nick, Coach Mitty, Kieran Betts, and that one white boy. Funny how 4 out of 5 are UK dudes and girls. UK dudes and gals. UK dudes and gals. 4 out of 5 are YouTube are Patreon. So shout out to the 4 out of the 5. Catch us on the next one and immediately on Overtime on patreon.com/The Boxing Voice for Overtime. Peace.
Chips! And you can catch me on IG, Alex_Doomsday_LAINEZ on IG and TikTok, Alex Linus TBB on Twitter. And don't forget, hit that notification bell. If any of you guys saw the lens this morning on Patreon, you would have seen me shouting out the Boxing Voice, letting you guys know we're live. So, you know, hopefully you got your notification bell on. And if it's not, I hope the lens starts to help. I'll be giving you guys the heads up there as much as possible. But that notification bell is key. We thank you. We appreciate the YouTube family, too. You know, we're out here coming back. And every once in a while, we do get a Patreon coming on over, you know, buying us that cup of coffee, that sandwich, or if not, that pizza pie, right? $15 gets you that month.
Why is Doomy only food? Fat
Yo,
I'm
yo,
fat
because
shaming.
I
Hungry.
relate-
You hungry?
Yeah. Bro, I got a bagel right in front of me, man. I haven't even touched it. It's like putting a red button in front of a kid. But yeah, man, make sure you check us out. And like I said, you buy us that pizza. You stay with us with a month at the highest tier. You get tons and tons of content. Tons of it. Comes down to cents per episode. I think something like 40 cents per episode. So, you like to consume your favorite food. If you like to consume your favorite content with us, come get some. Cents to the dollar. We appreciate your guys' support always. We do this for a living. Cheers.
At Martin McGee on Twitter, at Martin McGee on Instagram. Peace. See you on Overtime.